Not the best of days today. We've been threatened with thunderstorms all day long, and as you can probably tell behind me, there's a lot of cloud, which means there's probably going to be a lot of rain as well. But I thought I'd just pop out today to show you a couple of advancements on this Caravan container garden. Those are those alderman peas that we've been growing for what seems quite a long time, but they've never really done anything. They've not flowered at all. And then I popped out this morning and I spotted this. Those peas have now got flowers, which means those pod peas are definitely on way. And we've got flowers on a couple of plants at the moment, so that's brilliant. And I've also noticed in this bed we've got those shallots that are growing really well, but behind them we've got carrots, and if I just dig around that carrot, hopefully you'll be able to see that we've got carrots growing as well. And after checking all the way down this row, I can see that every one is the same, and it's the same story in this bed as well. I'll just see if I can dig in a little. You can see down there we've got another carrot, and they're not a bad size to be fair. So we're definitely getting some carrots. And on this cucumber plant, we've got now a really good sized cucumber, and there's actually two of those on that plant at the moment. There's another one just behind it. I think I'm going to have to nip back indoors for a few minutes because that rain is now really starting to come down. But I have got a couple more things to show you. So as soon as this rain stops, we'll pop back out and take another look, because I don't think it's a really good idea to shelter under a tree when we're being threatened with thunderstorms. Well, it did come down quite heavy, but it's slowed right off now, so we're back out to just look at a couple more things. That's a container celery, and that's put a lot of growth on in a very short space of time, and I can see that those stems are now starting to thicken up. But we've also got some celery in this bed, quite a few plants, and once again that's starting to put some thickness on as well, so that's good news. If you look just over my shoulder, you'll see that we've got quite a big container, and we've got potato plants in there, and they're the ones we brought from the other property. And what we did is we put a seed potato in a little 2-litre pot, because we wanted to get them going as quick as possible, and by doing that you can quite easily move them indoors just while they get established. And after a few weeks we had plants about this tall, 6 to 8 inches, and quite bushy as well, so it was easy to bring them over here, and then we transplanted them into these big pots. And there were mixed opinions about that as well. A lot of people saying it's not going to work, or it might restrict the growth by doing that. But as you can see, since we've planted them on only a few weeks ago, these plants are quite big. They're first early rockets as well, so they can reach maturity in 12 to 14 weeks. But what I tend to do is I just leave them, because they're in pots, and I'll wait until all that foliage starts to die back, because if the top's dying back, nothing underneath is going to get any bigger than it is. But at least that way we can maximise the size of those potatoes. But if you're growing them in ground, you're probably better off taking them as soon as you know they're a good size, about the size of an egg, because if they're in ground they'll get attacked by slugs. The slugs will attack the leaves on top, but they will eventually find their way down to those potatoes and ruin them all. But I just wanted to show you something in this potato pot behind me that I thought was brilliant. I'm just going to carefully move this foliage. I don't want to break it, but there is something that I want to show you. If we just carefully dig into this compost, making sure we don't break that root there, because that will be connected to a potato. I am taking my time with this. If you look down there, you can see we've got this potato growing. I'm trying not to damage that skin, or else it could start to rot, but it's just to show you that we have got something, haven't we? So that's brilliant. I'm going to leave that to grow on a bit bigger. Just make sure you cover them up. And that's something else that's worth noting. If you see your potatoes sticking out at the top of your compost, because sometimes they do, make sure you cover those potatoes up, because as the sun hits them, they'll start and turn green, and then you won't be able to eat them. And the same thing goes with your carrots. Your carrot tops sometimes start growing above that compost. So exactly the same thing, just cover them up, otherwise they will also go green. And it won't ruin the old carrot, but the part that's sticking out of the top won't be edible. So if you're growing carrots or potatoes, it's worth just having a little check and make sure none of them are sticking out of the top of that compost. So that was really good to see today, as first potatoes growing in containers. And even better knowing that they're growing perfectly fine from transplants, what we made earlier in here. And we've got carrots, we've got celery, and of course we now have flowers on those alderman peas. So everything is starting to grow. On this channel I've always made a point of not just showing you everything that's doing really well. It's important that you point out things that are not doing so well, and at the same time try and find out why. Once again this year we seem to be struggling with those cauliflowers. Not every one, but there is one in particular that's not looking very good at all, and that's this one. That is one sorry looking plant. All the leaves at the bottom are just going limp and starting to die back. We've still got a bit of growth in that centre, but it's a concern when your plants start doing that, and we don't really know why. It's not underwatering, because this is quite heavy, but it could be overwatering since we've had such a lot of rain over the last week or so, and it's showing no signs of stopping just yet. So that is a bit disappointing. It sounds like that storm's kicking back in. But then on the other hand, we've got this one. That is a really healthy looking plant, and we put all these plants in at the exact same time. The same variety, the same compost and the same feed, but this one is doing much better, and so's this one. That's got some really good size to it. Nothing wrong with it. They're not being attacked by anything at the moment, and touch wood, I haven't seen a single cabbage white butterfly. I'm hoping, along with slugs, they swerve this location, but that is a very healthy looking plant once again. The only thing that I can think could be happening with those plants is that a couple of those pots have been stood on grass, whilst the big ones that you've just seen have been stood on the paving. So maybe it's draining that water away because it's stood on paving slabs a lot better, and the other one has probably got waterlogged, so now the roots are starting to die. And that's about as much as I can assume from that situation. I think once again this weather is telling me it's time to go indoors. We don't want to be getting a cold just before summer. So even though it is quite late, around 6 weeks behind at the moment, with a little patience you'll find that everything is now going to start and put some size on, and you will definitely be getting some harvest this year. And if you've planted anything that has slowly started to die back because of all this wind and rain, there's nothing to stop you sowing fresh seeds and starting again. This rain is now starting to kick back in, so I'm heading back indoors, but I just wanted to show you these new advancements on this Caravan container garden. And if you want to see how the rest of the plants get on as we approach summer, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.